Burning cars, tear gas, water cannons, and fierce clashes between riot police and demonstrators. This is what Brussels, the capital of Belgium, looked like today after the protest against government austerity plans turned violent. Dozens of people were injured. More than 20 people ended up in the hospital. RT's Polly Boiko has the details.
It started off as a peaceful mass demonstration. Unions estimate that some 100,000 Belgians hit the streets of the capital to protest against the government's proposed austerity measures, but it descended into violent clashes between protesters and riot police. Some of the protesters began to upturn cars, set them on fire, and the riot police have had to deploy tear gas and water cannon against them. Now, the reason for these demonstrations is because the new centre-right government, which has come to power only about a month ago, well, it's proposed a whole raft of extremely unpopular austerity measures. They're talking about needing to raise the retirement age in Belgium. They've also said that they need to cancel a wage rise that would have been in line with inflation in the country. And they've also spoken about having to cut certain health and social benefits. The government says that they need to try and save 11 billion euros for the country's budget. And in fact, as those violent clashes are taking place on the streets of Brussels, and we're seeing the heavy-handed tactics of the police there have been protests across France against the death of an environmental campaigner who died in clashes with French riot police. And many people here in France have been extremely angered by what they see as increasingly heavy-handed tactics on behalf of the French riot police. So a sense that the protests are taking place across Europe, and it's almost a self-perpetuating prophecy, because the more protests take place, the more heavy-handed tactics we're seeing in response, and it's a vicious cycle that's continuing.
That was RT correspondent Polly Boiko.